She was just another black woman in a nice car. At least, that's what Officer Daniels thought. He had no idea he was harassing the very person who could end his career. And by the time he realized, it was already too late. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe for more real stories that expose injustice. Let me know where you're watching from. The calm before the storm. Dr. Olivia Carter grips the steering wheel with one hand and adjusts the radio with the other. It's late, nearly midnight, and she's driving home after a long shift. Her day had been exhausting, reviewing misconduct cases, meeting with city officials, and finalizing reports. As Chief of Internal Affairs, she's used to dealing with officers who abuse their power. But tonight, she's off duty, just another woman heading home after work. The quiet hum of jazz music fills the cabin. In the back seat, her 10-year-old son, Miles, dozes off, his head resting against the window. Next to him, his older sister, Taylor, 16, scrolls through her phone, the glow of the screen illuminating her tired face. Olivia glances at the rearview mirror and smiles softly. "Almost home," she murmurs. The thought of slipping off her heels and sinking into bed keeps her going. Her husband, James, is waiting for them. He's a public defender, another warrior in the battle for justice. Their work keeps them both busy, but they always make time for family. Tonight was supposed to be one of those nights, but fate has other plans. As Olivia approaches a stoplight, she notices headlights in her mirror, bright, unyielding, almost aggressive. A police cruiser. She exhales slowly. She knows this game. She's seen it play out countless times in reports, body cam footage, and complaint files sitting on her desk. The light turns green. She drives forward. The cruiser follows. Taylor glances up from her phone. "Mom, I know," Olivia says, keeping her voice calm. Another turn. The police car mirrors her movement. "Miles, wake up," Taylor says, nudging her brother. He stirs. "What's wrong?" Taylor doesn't answer. A moment later, red and blue lights flash behind them. Olivia grips the wheel. "Here we go." She signals, pulls over to the curb, and exhales. Her heart pounds, but she doesn't let it show. She's been through too much to let fear take over. "Mom." Miles' voice is small. "It's okay, baby," Olivia says, her voice steady. She reaches for her purse, pulling out her wallet. "Hands on the wheel," Taylor reminds her. She's seen enough videos to know the rules. Olivia nods. She waits. A figure approaches, a white officer, mid-40s, broad-shouldered, the kind of cop who walks like he owns the street. His badge glints under the streetlights. Olivia rolls down her window. "License and registration," the officer says. No greeting, no reason for the stop. His voice is sharp, his expression cold. She keeps her tone measured. "May I ask why I'm being pulled over, officer?" She glances at his badge. "Daniels." Daniels' eyes narrow. "License and registration," he repeats, ignoring her question. Olivia nods slowly. "It's in my purse. I'm reaching for it now." She moves carefully, methodically. Taylor films from her phone, holding it low but steady. Miles clutches his sister's arm, his wide eyes darting between his mother and the cop. Olivia hands over her license and registration. Daniels barely looks at them before shining his flashlight into the back seat. "Who are they?" "My children," Olivia says. Daniels stares at them for a moment too long. Then he steps back. "Step out of the car." A beat of silence. Taylor's grip tightens on her phone. "Excuse me," Olivia asks. "I said step out of the car." Daniel's voice hardens. Olivia keeps her hands on the wheel. "I haven't been told why I was pulled over. Am I under arrest?" Daniels leans closer. "Step out." She doesn't move. "Is your body cam on, Officer Daniels?" That gets a reaction. His jaw tightens. "Ma'am, don't make this harder than it needs to be." Taylor's phone is still recording. Miles' breathing quickens. Olivia slowly unbuckles her seatbelt. "I'm stepping out," she says, loud enough for the camera to hear. She opens the door and steps onto the pavement. Daniels moves fast. Before she has time to react, he grabs her wrist and yanks it behind her back. Miles screams, "Mom!" "Hey!" Taylor shouts. Daniels shoves Olivia against the car. The rough metal presses into her ribs. "What the hell are you doing?" Olivia demands. Daniels tightens his grip. "Stop resisting." "I'm not resisting," she grits out. He doesn't loosen his hold. "You're under investigation." "For what?" Daniel smirks. "That's not your concern." Her blood boils, but she forces herself to stay calm. She spent years training officers on proper procedure. She knows exactly how this is supposed to go, and how it's not supposed to go. Behind her, Taylor is out of the car, still recording. "You can't do this." Daniels glances at the phone. "Turn that off." No, Taylor's voice shakes, but she stands her ground. Daniels glares at her, then looks back at Olivia. He doesn't recognize her. He doesn't realize he just put his hands on the person who could strip him of his badge. And Olivia isn't about to tell him. Not yet. Instead, she meets his eyes and says, "This is the worst mistake of your career." Daniels laughs. "Is that right?" "You'll see." Behind them, another set of flashing lights pulls up. A second officer steps out. "Problem here?" the new cop asks. Daniels grins. "Just handling business." The second officer looks at Olivia. There's a flicker of recognition in his eyes. His body stiffens. "Daniels," he clears his throat. "We need to talk." But Daniels isn't listening. He's too busy enjoying the power trip. Olivia takes a slow breath. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. Part 2. The tides begin to turn. Daniel's grip remains firm on Olivia's wrist. She can feel his fingers digging into her skin, a mix of force and arrogance. But she doesn't fight. Not yet. The second officer, a younger man with nervous eyes, steps closer. "Daniels, we need to." "Not now, Martinez," Daniels snaps. But Officer Martinez doesn't back down. He glances at Olivia again, a flicker of hesitation crossing his face. His mouth opens like he wants to say something, but Daniels cuts him off. "I said not now." Martinez clenches his jaw. He knows something is wrong. He knows Olivia isn't some random woman Daniels can push around. But Daniels is his superior, and hesitation can cost a junior officer his job. Taylor steps forward, still recording. "You're assaulting my mother." Daniels scoffs. "Step back, kid." Taylor doesn't move. She's a government official. That gets Daniels' attention. His grip on Olivia's wrist loosens just slightly. "Oh yeah." He chuckles. "And what government job does she have?" Olivia meets his gaze, her expression unreadable. "Wouldn't you like to know?" Daniels narrows his eyes. "You think you're important or something?" She doesn't answer. Daniels jerks his head at Martinez. "Check her ID." Martinez hesitates. "I said check her ID." Reluctantly, Martinez steps forward, flipping open Olivia's wallet. His eyes scan the name. Then they widen. His whole body stiffens. Daniels notices the shift. "What?" Martinez swallows hard. He turns to Daniels, lowering his voice. Sir, you need to let her go." Daniels rolls his eyes. "What the hell are you talking about?" Martinez licks his lips, panic creeping into his voice. She's Chief Olivia Carter." Daniels frowns. "Chief of what?" Martinez glances at Olivia. "Internal affairs." The words hang in the air like a thunderclap. For the first time, Daniels' arrogance falters. His hand drops from Olivia's wrist like she just burned him. No way. He snatches the ID from Martinez's hand and stares at it. His face drains of color. Olivia watches his reaction, her face unreadable. She can see the exact moment he realizes the magnitude of his mistake. I didn't know," Daniel stammers. Taylor scoffs. "You didn't care." Daniels turns back to Olivia, his demeanor shifting instantly. The aggression is gone, replaced with forced politeness. "Ma'am, I think there's been a misunderstanding." Olivia raises an eyebrow. "A misunderstanding?" Daniels nods quickly. Yeah, I thought. He stops, realizing there's no way to explain himself without making it worse. Olivia crosses her arms. Let me guess. You thought I was just another black woman you could harass. Daniel swallows. I know You had no reason to pull me over, she continues, her voice sharp. No probable cause. No justification. You refused to state why I was stopped, demanded I exit my vehicle without cause, and then physically restrained me without provocation. Martinez shifts uncomfortably, watching as Daniel struggles to respond. Daniels forces a tight smile. Look, ma'am, let's not blow this out of proportion. Taylor lets out a short, bitter laugh. Oh, now you want to be polite? Daniels ignores her. Chief Carter, if I had known who you were, Olivia steps closer, cutting him off. You would have treated me differently. That's what you're saying, right? Daniels hesitates. Well, yeah. And that's the problem, she says, her voice like steel. Daniel's mouth opens, but no words come out. Martinez, still gripping the ID, clears his throat. Chief Carter, is there anything I can do? His voice is low, careful. He knows he's in a dangerous position, caught between loyalty to his superior and the truth staring him in the face. Olivia takes a deep breath, then looks at Taylor and Miles. Her son is still clutching his sister's arm, his small face filled with confusion and fear. This isn't just about her. It never was. She turns back to Daniels. Tell me, Officer Daniels, she says, voice dangerously calm. How many other people have you done this to? Daniel's face twitches. I don't. How many? She presses. He shakes his head. I don't know. That's the problem, she says again. Daniels exhales sharply, frustration creeping in. Look, ma'am, I am not, ma'am. I am Chief Carter, she corrects. Daniels grits his teeth. Chief Carter, he corrects, voice strained. And I'll be investigating this stop, she adds. Daniels' eyes widen again. Wait, you're filing a report? Oh, Taylor mutters. You thought she'd just let it slide. Daniels steps closer, lowering his voice. Come on, Chief Carter. There's no need for that. Olivia tilts her head. No need for accountability. Daniels forces a chuckle. It was just a routine stop. Olivia narrows her eyes. Tell me, Officer Daniels, do you always handcuff people during routine stops? Daniels' throat bobs. He knows there's no way out of this. Martinez finally finds his voice. Chief Carter, I really am sorry. His words are genuine. He looks at Olivia with something that almost resembles regret. She doesn't respond. She just watches as Daniel starts to sweat. The power dynamic has shifted. For the first time tonight, Officer Daniels is the one who looks afraid. And Olivia is far from done. Part 3. The exposure begins. Daniel's chest rises and falls rapidly. His mind races for an escape, but there is none. Olivia watches him closely, memorizing every flicker of panic on his face. A moment ago, he had all the power. Now he is standing before the very person who could end his career. Taylor doesn't stop recording. The phone in her hand captures every 10th second. Daniel's voice is tight. Look, Chief Carter, maybe we can just... No, Olivia interrupts. We can't. Daniels clenches his jaw. This doesn't have to get messy. Taylor scoffs. Messy? You put your hands on my mother, dragged her out of the car in front of her kids, and now you're worried about messy? Martinez shifts his weight from foot to foot, clearly uncomfortable. Chief Carter, would you like me to call a superior officer? I am the superior officer, Olivia responds evenly. Martinez's eyes widen slightly, but he nods. Understood. Daniels runs a hand over his face, then turns back to Olivia. I wasn't trying to do anything wrong. Olivia gives him a hard look. You weren't trying to do anything right either. Daniels shakes his head. I thought. What? Olivia asks, her voice low and steady. What exactly did you think? Daniels swallows hard. I assumed you were just some black woman you could push around? Daniels flinches, but doesn't deny it. Olivia lets the silence stretch. She knows what's coming next. The excuses. The half apologies. the desperate attempts to minimize his behavior. And then, as if on cue, Daniels exhales sharply. Look, I'm not a racist. Taylor rolls her eyes. Oh, here we go. Daniels glares at her, but quickly turns back to Olivia. I've been a cop for 15 years. I've arrested plenty of white people. I don't target anyone. Olivia folds her arms. But somehow tonight, you saw a black woman in an expensive car and assumed she was a criminal. Daniel's face twitches. Olivia tilts her head. Would you have pulled me over if I were a white man in a suit? Daniels doesn't answer. Taylor doesn't let up. Would you have demanded his ID before telling him why you stopped him? Would you have yanked him out of his car in front of his kids? Daniels shifts uncomfortably. I was just doing my job. Olivia steps closer. Your job? Tell me, Officer Daniels, did your job description say anything about handcuffing law-abiding citizens without cause? Daniel swallows. Did your training teach you to escalate situations instead of de-escalating them? Martinez keeps his eyes on the ground. Daniels clenches his fists. Look, because if that's what your department is teaching, Olivia says, then we have a much bigger problem. Justice arrives. The red and blue lights bounce off the pavement as the patrol cars pull up. The air is thick with tension. Officer Daniels stands frozen, his face drained of color. Taylor keeps her phone steady, recording every moment. The driver's door of the lead car swings open, and Captain Reynolds steps out. A tall, broad-shouldered black man in his early 50s. He exudes authority without saying a word. His eyes scan the scene, locking onto Olivia. Chief Carter, he says, his voice deep and measured. Are you all right? Olivia nods. I am, but we have a serious problem. Reynolds' gaze shifts to Daniels. His expression hardens. What happened? Olivia gestures toward her daughter. Taylor, go ahead. Taylor doesn't hesitate. This cop, she points at Daniels, pulled us over for no reason. He refused to tell my mom why. He demanded her ID before explaining anything. Then he got aggressive, dragged her out of the car, and cuffed her in front of me and my little brother. Reynolds' jaw tightens. He turns to Martinez. Is this true? Martinez hesitates, glancing at Daniels. Reynolds raises an eyebrow. Officer. Martinez exhales and nods. Yes, sir. That's what happened. Daniels glares at him. You serious? Martinez ignores him. Reynolds shifts his gaze back to Daniels. And you didn't recognize Chief Carter? Daniels swallows. I didn't know who she was. Reynolds shakes his head. That's not an excuse. Daniels straightens his posture. Captain, I was just following protocol. Protocol? Reynolds cuts him off. What protocol justifies violating someone's rights, Daniels? Daniels clenches his fists. I thought she was being uncooperative. Reynolds folds his arms. No, you thought she was nobody. That's why you felt comfortable treating her like that. Silence. Daniels' chest rises and falls quickly. He can feel his world caving in. Reynolds turns to Olivia. Would you like to file an official complaint, Chief? Olivia doesn't hesitate. Yes. Daniels' head snaps up. Come on. My record is clean. Reynolds silences him with a sharp look. Your record is what we know about. How many other black drivers have you treated like this? How many people did you assume wouldn't fight back? Daniels has no answer. Reynolds signals to another officer. Uncuff Chief Carter. The officer quickly moves to Olivia, carefully removing the handcuffs. As soon as she's free, she rubs her wrists. Taylor steps forward, checking her mother's hands for any marks. Reynolds steps toward Daniels. You're suspended, effective immediately. Daniels' body stiffens. Suspended. Reynolds' voice is firm, pending an internal affairs investigation. Daniels exhales sharply, turning back to Olivia. You're really going to do this? Olivia's voice is steady. You did this to yourself. Daniels' shoulders slump. He looks around, but there's no escape. Taylor smirks. Guess you should have been more careful about who you mess with. Reynolds turns to Martinez. I need your full report. Martinez nods. Understood, Captain. Reynolds looks back at Olivia. Chief, I'll make sure this is handled properly. Olivia nods. I appreciate that. Daniels exhales, shaking his head. This is unbelievable. Reynolds levels him with a cold stare. What's unbelievable is that you thought you'd get away with it. A heavy silence settles over the group. Daniels looks at Olivia one last time. You could ruin my whole career. Olivia meets his gaze. You ruined it yourself. Reynolds gestures to another officer. Escort him out. Daniels hesitates, but there's nothing left to say. Slowly, he turns and walks toward one of the patrol cars. The door slams behind him. Taylor watches him go, then turns to Olivia. So what happens now? Olivia takes a deep breath. Now, we make sure this never happens again. Reynolds nods. I'll be in touch, Chief. Olivia looks at her daughter, then at her son in the back seat. She kneels beside him, brushing his cheek. Are you okay, baby? He nods slowly, still shaken. She hugs him tight, whispering, Mommy's okay, and we're going to make sure no one else goes through this. Taylor watches, eyes burning with emotion. Mom, you really stood up to him. Olivia stands, looking at her daughter with pride. That's what we do. We stand up. Taylor grips her phone. This video's going viral. Olivia nods. Good. People need to see the truth. She looks toward the night sky, the flashing lights still illuminating the street. This fight isn't over. It never was. But tonight, justice won. And tomorrow, the fight continues.